man.
So, it's going to be interesting because listen, Fred, if you're on the side that, I think it's too many excuses, you're going to see that episode and be like, okay. Now, if you're on the other side, you can say, okay, well, and the only reason why I say that is because, you look at what happened in that Top Rank card when clearly Maloney should have won that fight. And they tried to stick with the headbutt. And you're like, well, listen, I don't see where a headbutt is called that. And the commission stuck with it. Well, listen, when you hear some of the things that Deontay says, considering what the Nevada commission did with that fight, you're thinking, you know what? He may not be far off about some of the stuff that they trying to, keep quiet. Yeah. So, and everyone, for those who will see it, will be like, and this too. Deontay has his opinions. You're not going to sway him. No. So even if I try to cut in, he go, no, let me talk. Okay, go ahead, get it out. So you're going to get a lot of that. And people would say, well, Brian, what do you think about him? And I always tell them, I said, listen, man, I've been married now for 19 years. The one thing I remember and that I've taken into that is you never discount somebody's feelings. When we were married for a couple of years, I think my wife said something. And I said, why would you think that? That's crazy. That was one of the worst mistakes I've ever made in my life. So I will never discount someone's feelings. So when Deontay has lists off the reasons why he feel like he's cheated, it's not for me to say, hey, why would you say that? Or there's no way you should feel that way. Those are his feelings.
Right.
And who am I to say that he's wrong? I just wanted to give him the platform to speak. He did. And we talked for about an hour.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's Tuesday, right? First thing in the morning. Yeah. I'm excited. I saw all the teams and stuff. I've been excited for you the past 3 weeks. Errol Spence, Derek James. By the way, Errol Spence looks like he looked like when you saw him when he sparred Charlo. Like I remember when you went down there.
Yes,
dude, he looked fucking sheesh.
Really? I mean, he even said that when we finished. He said, listen, I know a lot of people doubt me. A lot of people think that I'm not the guy that I used to be. You'll see. And he was like, that's why I wanted this guy, man. I wanted this guy. I want somebody really good where no one can doubt what I'm doing. So that's why I think that's going to be a really good fight. Because I like Danny, too. I mean, Danny's a really cool cat. And I think it's going to be a good fight. I mean, because Danny's coming to win. You know what I mean? Say what you want. He feels like, look, damn, I got jobbed in a couple of fights.
Yeah.
And he even said when we had him on, he said, the biggest lesson I learned from both of those fights was I started too slow. In both of those fights, I finished well, but you know what? I gave away the early rounds. Right. And so I'm not going to do that this time. I got to step to this guy. So that's why I think it's going to be a really good fight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a highly contagious fight. I think it's a middle of the ring fight too, which makes it very, very like visually pleasing to the fans. You know what I mean? And then you had Terrence Crawford on. I thought that was an exception. He likes you, man. He likes you.
He likes
you. I'm glad he likes someone. Like for real. Like I'm glad he likes someone because we got to know. I mean, he's a really good fighter. He's
a really, he's a excellent fighter, elite fighter. And I tell you what, I thoroughly enjoy him. And, the first time we did it, I had not known him from Adam. Wow. And he came.
Really? The first interview? You didn't know him?
We had never met.
He was in the car.
Never talked.
Good ass interview. Yeah.
Never nothing. And one of his people reached out and said, Bud Crawford would like to meet you and would like to do your show. And I was like, absolutely. Yeah. And it was great. And I even told him, I said, listen, I know when you get a fight, I'd like to have you back on. And he said, let's do it. Absolutely, man. So listen, I'm a Bud Crawford fan now. I mean, because didn't have to do it. And, he opened up, gave me as much time as we wanted to talk. And I thoroughly enjoy that cat. And again, I credit you because for me, a lot of people took from that when they watched the second one, it was, whoa, I think Bud Crawford would seriously think about going over to the PBC.
Yeah.
And it was, for me, getting that, when you had that, when I sat there and listened to you and Bob Arum talk, and when he said, yeah, there's a possibility that I could lose this guy, I was like,
oh yeah,
I need to ask Bud about this.
Yeah. It was it's just fun getting your notifications on Tuesday morning. You know what I mean? When I'm making my smoothies and shit, listening to Brian Custer and shit. You know what I mean? It's dope. How was the experience?